Welcome back, everyone. At this point, we know the Lakers are trying to do two things, one of which being to find a new head coach, which they apparently might be very close to doing, and then with the other one being to make a trade, with their goal to be trading for a star player. And well, I'm sure they would like to do that, but there's no guarantee it will happen, and especially if they're hoping to get a top 20 kind of player, let alone even a star player in general. But again, that does appear to be their goal. Now, I'm not sure they will achieve it, but I do think they will make a trade. And in reality, they might be better off trading for a non-star player, someone right below that level that can make a fairly similar impact but not quite cost that much. And with Donovan Mitchell likely being off the table, another option for them could be his teammate, with that being Darius Garland, point guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, he might not be the big name that Donovan Mitchell is, but he can make a big impact. And not only that, but he does happen to be a clutch client of Rich Paul's, along with being a younger player that could fit the timeline of Anthony Davis. And with that in mind, we're going to talk about the likelihood of it happening, what it would take to get him, and then about the Lakers having a reported frontrunner to become their new head coach. But without further ado, let's dive right into it. And we'll begin by talking about Darius Garland. Like I referred to before, he is a clutch sports client, and whenever Rich Paul is involved, you already know that player could have a chance of playing with LeBron. I mean, some people even think that LeBron went back to watch the Cavaliers play earlier this month specifically to watch Garland play. Now, I'm not too sure about that one, but then again, they do go pretty far back. Even back in 2019 before Garland got drafted, he had been seen with LeBron on multiple different occasions. And not only that, but many believe the Lakers would have drafted him if not for trading their 2019 draft pick, with some even going as far to say that they promised to draft him. Again, not too sure about all that, but there definitely is a connection here, and one that goes pretty far back. And keeping that in mind here, it's really not that shocking that they are once again being linked to each other. With Donovan Mitchell being the priority of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland might be on the move, or unless Donovan Mitchell would indicate that he won't be signing a new contract with them. In that case, the Lakers will then pivot back to Donovan Mitchell. But regardless, they appear to be very interested in the Cavaliers' backcourt. And getting back to Garland here, Rich Paul has made it clear that he does not want to be back in Cleveland if they keep Donovan Mitchell. It's simply not a good fit with how ball-dominant Mitchell can be at times. And well, I'm not sure that'll be much better in LA. I mean, if we're talking about usage rate, then LeBron had only a 2% lower rate compared to Mitchell, being at 29% compared to Mitchell being at 31%, and then not to mention Anthony Davis having one of 27%. And with that in mind, I'm not sure there would be much room left for Darius Garland. I imagine that would force him to fill the role that D'Angelo Russell filled for them, being a primarily off-the-ball player while being a distant secondary playmaker and ball handler behind LeBron. And while I don't think there is any doubt about his ability to do that, with him being a 38% career 3-point shooter and an 18-point per game kind of guy, I'm not sure why the Lakers do that when they already have D'Angelo Russell, who they could instead bring back through free agency without having to give up any trade assets. And I think the only argument you can make against that would be with Garland being younger. Don't get me wrong, I think he would be a slight upgrade over D'Lo, but apart from him being 4 years younger, there's really not that much more he would offer them. They are both offensive-minded point guards, they knack for 3-point shooting, they're not very good on defense. Now, I will say that Garland can get into a passing lane better than D'Lo can, but he's not a major upgrade on defense. And with backcourt defense being one of their bigger problems, they would not be doing much to address that problem. And then with Garland likely taking at least one first-round draft pick for them to get, along with Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves to make the trade work financially, I really don't think it would be worth it. I like Darius Garland, and the Lakers certainly do too, but that would not do much to help them. Again, the only real benefit here would be with his youth. I think that he would be a great primary playmaker to replace LeBron with, but that does not appear to be happening for another 2 or so years. And with them not having many tradable first-round draft picks to begin with, they cannot afford to lose one for a move that would only benefit them in a couple of years. I like the fact that they will be buying low here with Garland coming off a down year, which I think he will bounce back from, but again, it's really not what they need right now. And with that in mind, I for one would be out on trade for Darius Garland, with the only exception being if Cleveland want to do a sign and trade for him with D'Angelo Russell, which would be incredibly unlikely. Moving on here though, we got another coaching update via Shams Charania, and according to him, the Lakers met with Reddick for a quote-unquote extended period of time last week, and that he appears to be the frontrunner for the job. And I'll let you hear the full report.
So I think now the Lakers, where they're standing is they've started their coaching interviews. I'm told last week the Lakers met with Reddick in Chicago at the draft combine. They met for an extended period of time to really get to know him and spend time with him. And he was the first candidate to really do a face-to-face meeting. And then they brought in James Borrego in LA on Monday, Sam Cassell, David Adelman, Micah Nori, Chris Quinn is going to get an interview as well in LA. So they're finishing up their first round of interviews this week. Next week, I believe they're going to start their second phase in this process, get more conversations with candidates, get more maybe basketball-centric conversations in. I think a lot of it now was surface level. But going into this process, and right now, my sense is that JJ Reddick, he is the guy around the league that everyone believes is the front runner for this job. He's in position. I think there's an infatuation with JJ Reddick right now, just in terms of his ability for right now, but also being a coach that the Lakers can have for years and years to come. That's someone who's obviously young enough in the industry, young enough in the space where you feel like you have a 4, 5, maybe 6-year runway with a guy like JJ Reddick as your head coach, where now you have him command the respect of a LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But listen, this is Anthony Davis's team moving forward. He's the one who's 31 in the prime of his career. So how can, whether it's JJ Reddick or another coach, dictate how you're going to revolve your game plan around Anthony Davis? And I think that's going to be an important part. But
I'm really not that shocked to hear about that at this point. Now, do I agree with it? Probably not, but that does appear to be the direction they are trending in. We have now heard about the Lakers thinking of him with Pat Riley kind of potential, along with them wanting a head coach that can be with them beyond their time with LeBron. And well, that would imply they are looking for a younger head coach, which Reddick would in fact qualify for, with him only being 39 years old. However, there are obvious problems here, the first of which being that he has never been a head coach before, let alone even an assistant coach before. And there is no bigger risk than hiring a guy with that kind of background regardless of their knowledge for the game. And no, I do not believe that Reddick would want to become an assistant coach for them. If he wanted to do that, then he would have done it right after retiring, though that did not happen to be the case. Much like Steve Kerr, he would likely only walk away from being a broadcaster and podcaster if he would be offered to become a head coach, not to become an assistant. I mean, why would he do that when he could spend that time not only making more money, but doing something that he would likely enjoy doing more as well? I think that JJ Reddick wants to take on the challenge of going right into head coaching. And well, I think that only ends one of two ways. One of which being with him becoming a great head coach, and maybe even the Pat Riley kind of guy the Lakers have in their fairy tale idea, or instead by failing miserably. I really don't think there's any in between here. And in my opinion, the best way to make route number 1 happen would be with them putting a very experienced staff around him, with 1, 2, or even 3 of them having been a head coach before, which will in fact take some money. If they could do that, then I would be fine with them hiring JJ Reddick. But again, that would mean making a financial commitment to hiring former head coaches to fill his staff with. And well, I'm not sure they're willing to do that, nor if Reddick would want them to do that either, as the majority of head coaches want to personally pick their staff. And with that in mind here, I'm really not sure how to feel about it. But with all of that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about JJ Reddick being the current frontrunner to become their head coach? And then what do you think about them having interest in Darius Garland? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.